She held her freshly printed diploma tightly against her chest, the scent of new paper still lingering, and a wave of emotion surged through her. Joy rose inside her like a rising tide after all those years of effort. It had finally paid off. The sleepless nights bent over her desk, the rainy days standing outside selling goods just to earn tuition money. Now every hardship felt worth it. She smiled, her eyes glowing with pride. Lynn had made it. But the joy wasn't complete. Beneath it all, a quiet worry lingered. Her little brother at home, his illness still clinging to him like a shadow. She pictured him coughing softly, his face pale, those timid eyes looking up at her whenever the pain struck. Lynn knew that even though she had graduated, even though she had succeeded in her studies and work, her responsibility toward him remained a heavy weight. She whispered to herself, I have to stay strong. Not just for me, but for him. In that moment, joy and fear intertwined, creating a feeling both sweet and achingly sharp at the bottom of her heart. Joy for how far she had come. Fear because someone she loved was still fragile. And determination because she knew that every effort, every drop of sweat, every tear shed, must continue if she was to protect her brother and her family. Taking a quiet, steady breath, Hanh Linh let the warm summer breeze carry away a piece of her worry, allowing the joy to spread through her. Her eyes drifted towards the lively street below, where streetlights glowed brightly, and she told herself, I've walked a long road. And I won't stop here. My brother and my family need me, and I will do everything I can to keep them safe and happy. Hanh Linh's clinic had always been warm and tidy. Soft light filtered through the window, falling gently over the bookshelf filled with psychology texts. Small pots of green plants added a calming touch, and the faint aroma of coffee drifting from the corner made anyone stepping inside feel at ease, an ideal place for the heart to open itself. Today she welcomed a particularly special patient, Tran Huc, 35, a successful man with a confident presence, broad shoulders, steady posture and firm, decisive steps. From the very first moment, Lynn sensed the maturity and depth in his gaze, a man who had weathered far too many storms in his life. He sat down, his hands clasped tightly on the table, his breathing even but heavy. His cold eyes carried a trace of sorrow. He couldn't hide a wound buried so deep he had never spoken of it. Lynn observed quietly. Those eyes had seen betrayal, had endured the kind of pain few could understand. His wife had betrayed him, yet Tran Huc had never confided in anyone, not even his closest friends. He always kept a strong, controlled image, never allowing others to see the damage beneath. Good afternoon, doctor, he said, voice low and firm without a smile. Hanh Linh returned a gentle, warm smile. Hello, please have a seat. I'm Hanh Linh, your psychologist. He glanced around the room, noticing every carefully arranged detail that created a sense of safety, yet his demeanor remained cautious. Lynn understood that with men like Tran Huc, experienced, composed, and perceptive, trust had to be built slowly, through sincerity and subtlety. Could you share with me what brought you here today? Lynn asked, her voice calm, unhurried. Tran Huc inhaled deeply and spoke in his low, steady tone, I feel exhausted. Exhausted with myself, with people around me, and with the image I'm trying so hard to maintain. Lynn nodded, her eyes soft with empathy. She noticed the tiny signs he tried to hide, the faint crease in his brow when a memory surfaced, the fleeting sadness in his eyes when he looked toward the window. Every subtle gesture betrayed a long-hidden pain he had carried alone. Coming here means you want change, she said, gently yet firmly. And that's already the most important first step. You don't need to be strong all the time. Sometimes allowing yourself to feel weak is the very thing that helps you heal. Tran Huc's brows tightened slightly, surprised by her perceptiveness and composure. He had never met someone so young and delicate yet capable of seeing through the armor he wore. There was something about Hanh Linh, something that made him feel safe, a feeling he hadn't experienced in a long, long time. Their first session ended in a comfortable silence. Tran Huc stood up, nodding politely, still wrapped in his usual pride, but his gaze had softened just a little. Hanh Linh let out a quiet breath, knowing she had just opened the first door into his complex, mature, and wounded heart. Deep inside, a faint intuition stirred within her. This journey between them would be far from simple, filled with surprises, challenges, and perhaps emotions neither of them expected. On Tran Huc's second day at the clinic, the atmosphere felt more tense than the day before. He walked in with his usual straight posture, shoulders slightly stiff, his expression cold, but faintly shadowed by exhaustion. "Good afternoon, doctor," he said, voice low and firm without a hint of a smile. Hanh Linh offered a gentle smile. "Hello. Today we'll try a different approach. No pressure, no forcing. Just helping you recognize what you've been hiding from yourself." Tran Huc frowned slightly, caught off guard, then quickly masked it with irritation. "I'm not sure about this. I'm not the type who easily shares feelings." Lin understood she wasn't discouraged. Her voice stayed soft and steady. "You don't have to share everything right away. Just allow yourself to feel and observe your emotions. That alone is already an important first step." During the first sessions, Tran Huc remained difficult, sometimes indifferent, even refusing to cooperate. His answers were short, avoiding, his gaze shifting elsewhere whenever questions became personal. But Lin stayed patient. She paid attention to every gesture, every breath, every fleeting tired smile. She knew that beneath the pride was the wound of his ex-wife's betrayal, loneliness, hurt, and a deep pain he had never voiced to anyone. Session by session, Lin skillfully asked open-ended questions, creating a safe space while encouraging his self-awareness. "Do you notice how tense you become when we talk about the past? When you feel hurt, how do you usually react? Have you ever wanted to open up, but couldn't bring yourself to?" Those questions, gentle yet piercing, slowly began to loosen something within him. He no longer avoided everything. Sometimes his gaze turned thoughtful, his voice revealing brief flickers of genuine emotion. Lin sensed it clearly. The wall of pride he had built for years was starting to crack, piece by piece. She thought to herself, he's demanding, mature beyond his years, and has endured betrayal. But with patience, gentle yet firm, he will eventually trust. At the end of the session, Tran Huc stood up, still carrying his usual stiff composure, but his eyes were softer, his tone a little less cold. Lin knew the very first step of opening his heart had succeeded, and that it would become the foundation for deeper progress between them, a relationship that was part therapy, part emotional challenge, and quietly blossoming with subtle, unexpected feelings.